Vanessa Ramirez, welcome to Latinas Power Talk. Hi.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, I know we've been working on this for a minute, and we finally got it to happen.
Can I just tell you, you were on my bucket list for season 1. You really were. I was like, when I was like creating the podcast and I was like, okay, who do I want to have that's like a powerhouse woman? I thought of you, honestly, because I mean, I've seen you on TV at the D-backs game, like over the course of years, and we're going to get into everything that you've done, right? But I think when I think of someone in the Valley who really paved the way for Latinas in media, you come to mind.
Oh my gosh,
Honestly,
thank you.
Honestly,
Oh
because for years, like even before this whole conversation of having more diversity really went into corporations and stuff, like you were the face of us and you really represented us. And I think there's power in that of like seeing someone like you when I was at college, I was like, you know what? I can do it too. I can work for an English station because she's Latina just like me. And I think like, I don't know, I'm getting like chills, but like, thank you for being that person that like we all could look up to and envision ourselves in those roles. Like,
oh my gosh.
Thank you so much. So thank you for being here. I'm so excited.
Thank you for sharing that. Oh my gosh, what an introduction, right?
And I remember that day that we met really quick. I don't know if you remember, but it was at Jennifer, shout out to Jennifer Villalobos. At her birthday, I was like, the Vanessa Ramirez is going to be there. I was a little bit of a fangirl that day, and I was like, keep it together. But
and now here we are.
I know, thankfully. So thank you for being here on the podcast, like I said. So you spent your entire career, I would say, in media, right? You just finished off 19 seasons with the Diamondbacks.
I know.
That is crazy. You're going to have your 20-year anniversary next season.
Next season, yes.
Which is amazing. You also were the host of Su Vida. And then you were 11 years at 12 News.
Yes.
Looking back, what can you say about your career? I'm pretty sure it was a roller coaster of emotions, but looking at everything that you've been able to accomplish, like, how does that make you feel?
I mean, I pinch myself all the time because I can't believe that I have done so many different jobs and have had a long career here in the community that I grew up in. So that's not common. You know, most people, they have to go to another market and work their way up. Well, I got to stay here the whole entire time. And so that was really a blessing for me and really helped me build more of a community here because this is my hometown. But of course, it was a lot of ups and downs. People think it's glamorous and just happy-go-lucky, and it's not. There is a lot that comes with it. And, you know, originally, I started at a Hispanic advertising agency. I was an AE, we did public relations, and here's the crazy story, and I've shared this in the past, but it's always that one decision that changes everything. So I had an agent, and she was like, hey, there's this independent feature film in Sedona. You have to go for 2 weeks. They want you to do it. And I'm like, 2 weeks? What am I supposed to do about my job? And she's like, I don't know, figure it out.
Wait, were you like trying to get into the acting field?
So I had an agent for like commercials, acting, just whatever would come my way. I remember signing up for her, sending out pictures.
Just like on camera work.
Yeah, on camera work, just for any more exposure, you know? And so I did that. I quit my job. At the Hispanic advertising agency.
For a 2-week indie film.
And it wasn't even a huge film. Like, you know, I didn't get paid that much money, but literally everything changed from that moment. So I did a fashion show for the Arizona Diamondbacks. They had unveiled their new uniforms in 2007, and they needed models to come out in between them.
So you were casted for it.
Yes, and that same agent got me in there too, but it was free. It was a free gig, and she's like, look, they're not paying you, but it's going to be fun.
Like most of these are, girl.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
So I was like, okay, it's going to be fun. So I go and do the fashion show, fun experience. I just was showing my personality because they made us go out there in between the players, and I had rollers in my hair. We were practicing, and so I just hammed it up, and my now boss was in the audience, and he was like, who is that girl? So while I was out there in Sedona, they had reached out to another company that I worked for, CW6 at the time. I was one of their 6-pack members. They had 3 guys, 3 girls, and we promoted the station. So they reached out to that producer. He called me, and he's like, hey, the Arizona Diamondbacks are looking for you. They want an interview. And I'm like, what? You know?
Me?
Yeah. So I was like, no way. He's like, yeah. And I'm like, this is amazing. So like I said, my whole life changed. And I've shared this before on other interviews, but I came back from Sedona. I had broken up with my boyfriend while I was out there. I came home to an empty home, no job. I was sleeping on the couch. Like, my mom was crying because she's like, the house is different. And I'm like, it's okay, Mom, we got this. So I go do the interview with the Diamondbacks. It takes a few weeks. I don't hear back from them. I send them a picture wearing a hat, a Diamondbacks hat. And I'm like, this is a good fit. And then about a week later, they call me back, and they're like, all right, you're in.
Wait, so you went to the interview. They kind of ghosted you in a way. And you're like, let me remind you, this is the person you want to hire because I am fit for the job. And then boom, you got it.
Yeah.
Oh
And
my
so
gosh.
they said the wait was because they were also looking for my co-host. And but they're like, we did have you in mind, but we were just a lot was going on. And then we did it. And I literally thought we were gonna host for 2 years,
Right.
3 years, that's it. And no, like 19 seasons
19.
later, and it's just remarkable. We've seen so much with the team. We've been there longer than most of the players.
No, for sure.
You
I was
know?
going to say, like, you
Yeah.
guys have been there through a lot of changes that the D-backs had. Like, their jerseys were different back then. Like, it was through the whole history, like, you've been part of it for
Yes.
the franchise's, like, course of, you know, popularity and everything in the Valley. But I heard, actually, that you kind of manifested that role, though, girl.
Yes.
You were in the stands, from what I remember, and
Yeah.
you were seeing someone who was a current in-game host at that time, and you're like, that sounds like fun. I kind of want to do that. Do you believe in manifestation?
I do.
You do.
I 100% do. And I think when it's your time, right? And you're right. I was in the stands in the 300 level, went to the game. I was like, I could do that job. And I was looking at her on the dugout. And lo and behold, a few years later, I was actually doing the job. And the same thing happened with 12 News and the midday show, the lifestyle show that I was on.
Yeah.
So I was out to dinner with family. And everybody said, what's your next step? What do you want to do next there at the station? And I was like, well, if I really could, I want to do their lifestyle show. I'm like, but that lady's been there forever. And they were like, okay. So literally the next day, girl,
No.
I go to work and I'm in the traffic department doing my job. And the producer of that show is like, hey, the host is leaving. And I'm like, what? She's been there forever. And they're like, she's leaving. And I was like, no way. So once the position was open, I reached out to my boss. I was like, I'd really like to transition to this role and I would love to do it. And she's like, okay, let me see what we could do. So I went through the process. They ended up saying yes. I transitioned from traffic and went up to do that show, and I did it for 3 years. But it was literally my dream job there at that station.
Right.
So that was the goal, right? I worked my way up. I started as a reporter, and then I was doing things to do, like entertainment news, traffic, which traffic I didn't love so much. The hours were crazy.
Early in the morning.
Yeah,
You're
girl,
like
I
up
woke
at
up
like
at 2:30.
3. Oh my gosh.
2:30 in the morning for 6 years. And I was still doing the Diamondbacks. So at that time, the Diamondbacks didn't have the pitch clock. So our games were late. And so I would wake up. It was just this nonstop grind, right? And I was still doing Sous Vide, still doing everything else. And so, but when that moment arrived and I was like, oh my gosh, I get to do this show.
Yeah.
It was just amazing. But literally just talked about it at dinner the night before.
How crazy. I mean, it was God's answered prayer. Like, I don't know if you're, faithful.
Yes.
But I think there's power in putting it out there what you want. Like,
For
there
sure.
really is. And I've said on the podcast, like, manifestation, I believe in manifestation, but you have to say it like it's already yours. Like, if there's an ounce of doubt in your minds, like, you're kind of like blocking the blessing to like come into your life.
Right.
But how crazy. Have you always known that you wanted to be in like TV or media or something like that growing up? Like, were you that girl who was like, I'm going to be in the mic and getting in front of the mirror and talking into the camera? Or was that you growing up? Or
So
how did this fall into your life?
There was a little bit of a mixture. So growing up, I was shy, actually. I was
Okay.
shy. However, I like to entertain. So I was in talent shows and I was in dance and gymnastics and I did all of that. But I was shy in front of people and like around people. But my mom was like, I knew this is what you wanted to do because you always wanted to perform. So I was doing all the talent shows, and shout out to Mrs. McGuire because in the first grade, I wanted to do it and she was my first grade teacher. But we grew up in the area, we didn't have a lot of money. And so she was like, I'll let you borrow an outfit. I'll let you borrow one of my daughter's outfits to use. And so I did, and that was it. That's all it took. I had the best time performing in front of everybody, and I did.
And how old were you?
I was like in first grade, second grade.
You still remember that day?
Yeah, I have the picture. I have I won in the talent show. So I have a little plaque at home in my office with the little outfit and saying, I think I got second place in the talent show.
What a story. Like, I feel like so many things have happened in your life, but you worked so hard for it, girl. Like, at some point, like, you were juggling like 5 different jobs at the same time. Like, through it all, though, were there moments where like you doubted yourself because you were kind of one of the only few, if not the only Latina to represent us in media at that time?
I I guess, of course, there was always a little bit of doubt. Like, can I get this? Is this the next step? Is this what I should be doing? And when I was always going through the process, I would have a little bit of doubt. Like, oh, am I the right fit? Am I going to make sure that I'm doing okay? Like, am I asking for the right money? Like, am I doing, like, there was a lot of questions. And since there was no one else in my family that did it, and I have mentors here in the Valley that I still talk to today, like Kaylee O'Kelly, you know, we worked together at Channel 15, and I was an intern, and she has always guided me, and she's just been a great person. So, like, I had people to lean on with her, and then there was people like Bruce Cooper, you know, he's like a sports legend here in town. I kind of went to him, asking him some questions. So I did have some guidance, but I knew that what are you going to lose, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to go after it, and if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. But if I don't go after it, then I'll never know.
True.
Yeah.
Te quedas con las ganas, like with that what if mentality, right? So you're like, let me just go for it. And thankfully, like it all aligned and everything that you probably envisioned happened. Why did you decide to stay local? Because like honestly, with your talent and with how gorgeous you look, like, you know, anyone would want you at this point. But was there a specific reason why you decided to keep it local here?
I think the major reason is because of my dad. So my dad passed away in 2011. And so I was already working at the Diamondback, so he knew that I did that, and that was cool. But I didn't want to leave my mom, right? I'm an only child, so there was no way that I could leave her and try to pursue my career. And somewhere else because she needed me, I needed her, you know. And so we went through that growing process of not having my dad around. You know, we were a tight team. We did everything together, the paint on my wall at my house. Like it took all three of us to decide which color I wanted. And so I just knew I couldn't leave her at that time. So thankfully, I was blessed enough to get all these opportunities here in town where I grew up, right? And it is amazing because it's like I went to Harris and I went to Borman and I went to Maryville. And so all these people who live here, like, know that that's where I went and this is what I'm doing, right? You know? So everybody's like, when on comments on Instagram, they're like, oh, Maryville's finest or Maryville pride, or, you know, and that's pretty awesome that people remember that I went to that school and that I'm doing amazing things here in the Valley.
And I mean, who better to like, because I remember when you started at 12 News, you would do kind of like the to-dos, like what's going around in the Valley, than someone who knows it because you lived in our communities, you know? But I want to take us to Su Vida, your Su Vida chapter, because I think that was kind of groundbreaking, honestly, because you were talking about a lot of music, a lot of entertainment, a lot of like crafts happening in the Valley, but with like a Hispanic almost twist to it. How did that opportunity like fall into your lap?
You know, okay, so I did work hard for everything, but things did come my way. So I think because I put in the work prior, other people noticed and other people my name started coming out there. And so I was in radio at the time. I believe it was at 101.5. And I was working at the radio station as their morning host. And I got a call from a producer from Su Vida, and they're like, hey, we had another host, but we're transitioning, and we would love for you to come in and try out. Well, when I was younger, I'm not going to lie, I was a little skeptical and I would question a lot. Like, I was like, I don't know. Is this a good fit? Is it legit? Okay. Like, are you sure? Like, you know, and so if you talk to my producer today from Su Vida, he's moved on, but his name's Honaro. And so Honaro was like, at the beginning, you were so guarded and like not sure, and you were like do I really want to do this? But he's like, but after you let go, he's like, girl, you just like blossomed and like you had so much fun, and I saw you grow over the years. And he's like, it was just amazing to see that transition. So I was a little scared at first, but I did take it on, and then I was there for 15 years.
That's 15. A long time. That's a long time.
How does all this stuff happen for so long, you know?
But I was going to say, like, how do you not get burnt out when you're juggling so many hats and so many jobs and being pulled left and right here and there? Like, did you have moments of burnout season where you had to like, okay, you know what? Let me take a 2-week vacation to regroup and recharge my batteries, or else I'm going to lose my stuff, you know? Right. Did you have those moments, or were you going off of like adrenaline? Because I feel like sometimes in this industry, if you say no, that opportunity is not going to come knocking again. Right. You know?
You're right. It was hard. I felt like I had to say yes to everything. I felt like I had to hustle and get things done and prove myself to people, right? That I can do this and this is what I do. And so I never took like a 2-week break. I've never taken long vacations. If you ask anybody in my world, I literally take like 3-day vacations. I went to Germany for 3 days.
No.
Yes. And it was because of work. So my friends were going to Oktoberfest, that I made through the D-backs, and I wanted to go, and work was like, no, you only have 3 days. And I'm like, can I just take an extra day, 2 days?
Yeah.
They're like, no, you have to be back here.
Traveling takes a day. Girl,
Yes.
you were hopped back off.
Did Oktoberfest 2 days. I came back, literally went to the station to do traffic the next morning.
Oh my gosh.
Like, that's how I live. My life has been fast paced, and where I haven't said no. Like, I'm like, no, I just keep doing it, and I just keep doing it. And I think part of it goes back, though, to my dad. So when he passed, that's kind of how I dealt with the grief, right? Is to stay busy. To stay busy, and also to show him that I'm still going to be a hustler and a go-getter, and I'm going to make him happy, right? No, even if he's passed on the other side. And I wish he knew that, in person, that he saw me work at the news station and do all these other cool things. But he's definitely with me all the time. And my mom's like, I think that's how you dealt with your grief. Like, you just went into hustle work mode and you just kept going. But the thing is, it worked for me. Like, it worked. I've had a lot of amazing jobs and opportunities. And so it's kind of weird. Like, if I didn't go that route, would I be where I'm at right now?
True.
I
mean, he's also probably guiding every step of the way, every decision that you've made. I heard that also the 12 News job was kind of also pitched to you. I think it was like a friend that called you and said, hey, I'm going to put in a good word for you. Is that true?
Yeah. I've talked about this in a few other interviews. So actually, there was an opening for their 4 o'clock show, and they needed a host.
4 a.m.?
4 p.m.
Okay. I was like, girl.
No. And so I didn't have an agent. I didn't have any news experience besides my internship. And so one of my girlfriends acted like my agent, and she called them up, and she's like, hey, my client is interested in this opportunity. I met with the news director, and he was like, okay, you don't have any news experience, but you have tons of other experience. He's like in the entertainment world, TV, radio, news, right? He's like, so we're going to give you a shot. And so it's like kind of like the fake it till you make it, right?
True.
She helped me with that opportunity, and it worked. And so I got in the door, and I worked my way up, like I said, as a reporter, traffic, and then the lifestyle show.
Oh my gosh, how amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they saw that spark in you, that you had it in you. And I think you're so personable. You're so easy to watch on TV. You're so entertaining. And like, they saw that you were going to make it, before you probably even saw it in yourself, But, okay, so I want to talk.
There's so much to talk about.
There's so much to talk about. Let's break it up with a little game. Yes? Okay. Only in Arizona. So I'm going to give you 2 options, okay? And you're going to pick one. Which one you prefer? So, Sedona weekend or a Scottsdale staycation?
Ooh. I would probably do a Scottsdale staycation.
Really?
Only because I'm fast-paced. I like to do stuff. So I would probably be like, let's go to a nice dinner, and let's get a massage, and let's go hang out by the pool.
Sedona's too quiet.
Yes.
Yes.
Too slow, too quiet.
Okay. A D-backs game. I think I know what you're going to pick. A D-backs game or Suns playoffs?
Ooh.
That's a tough one.
Okay, so obviously the D-backs are near and dear to me, to my heart. Right? I love them. I've been in plenty of positions where we're like down to the wire to make it to the postseason or whatever. And it's so exciting, and obviously I have a passion for them, but I really enjoy Suns games. Like, they are so much fun.
They're so energetic.
Yes. Yeah.
Listen, okay, I remember my first baseball game, and I love going for the snacks. It's the vibes. But for me, please don't cancel me. Baseball games are very long.
Yeah, they are.
Where like Suns games are a little bit more like boom, boom, boom. Let's get in, let's get out. You're done. You know what I mean? Way more energetic. So I think I would go to a Suns playoffs as well, if I'm being honest. But I love the D-backs.
I'm a hometown girl, so I love all the teams. And obviously I work with the D-backs, and I'm there all the time, right? But
would you hike Camelback Mountain or brunch at Old Town?
Ooh. That's
Are you a hiker?
One.
Do you like
I do,
hiking?
yeah. I'm active. Yeah. I'm active, like going to the gym, hiking when the weather's amazing right now. Obviously, it's cooling down now, so it's
Thankfully,
good. But honestly, I would probably go do the hiking just because.
Really? Over brunch?
To change it up, mix it up a little bit.
Yeah. Camelback Mountain is hard. Have you done that one?
Yes, it is so hard.
I mean, people get stuck for a reason. It's so hard. Yeah. I'm like, one day.
I definitely take my time. I'm not like that person trying to like hustle up there. I'm like, I'm going to take a breather real quick. And then I get back, I'm going to go.
Girl, I'm like that at North Mountains. I probably wouldn't be able to do Camelback yet. But okay, monsoon rain or 110 heat?
110 heat.
Really? You like the heat?
Yeah, I am a summer baby through and through. I was born in May.
Oh,
and
gosh.
so I love, when it is sunny outside, I am in the best mood. So if I open my blinds and you know, it's sunny and great, amazing. If it is rainy and gloomy, I'm like, no. And I do not
Really?
like the rain. I do not like it gloomy, nothing.
You don't like to be cuddled up watching a movie, watching Twilight. Anytime it rains, I'm like, Twilight. Twilight is on. I don't know why.
I don't think Twilight would be my first go-to, but no, yeah, definitely 110 because I can go out to the lake, I can go to the pool, I can like go do something fun. And
The rain does stop us.
Yes.
It does. It does. Sonoran hot dog or street tacos?
I'm a taco girl.
Same.
I love carne asada tacos. Okay. But okay, don't cancel me either because I only eat it with cheese. Carne and cheese, that's it.
Carne and cheese.
Yes, yeah,
okay.
and salsa, obviously. But like, I'm not a pico de gallo fan. I'm not a cilantro fan. I don't like onions. Nothing.
Just give her the meat and the cheese and the tortilla.
Simple.
Okay. State Fair or First Fridays?
Oh, State Fair, hands down.
Hands down.
Hands down.
Have you been this year?
Yes, I already went this year. It's a tradition. Okay. So I grew up going to the State Fair since I was a little girl, and everybody makes fun of me that I love going, but I'm like, guys, it's so much fun. Like we do
like
the
our
slide.
Disneyland.
Yeah, we do the rides. I love the Piggly Wiggly fries. I get a pizza. I get the fry bread. I mean, I get it all. And the corn on the cob. It's just, I get so excited to go.
The ultimate cheat day.
And I was like, really? But the cute story behind it is because a long time ago, I was probably like 6. I went with my parents, and you know, there's the bottle toss game where you put the rings on the Coke bottles. So I was walking by, and I think we were getting ready to leave. And I'm like, I want to play that one more time. My parents are like, fine. So I do it, and it lands on the bottle. I win this huge teddy bear, huge teddy bear. And it was in my parents' house forever. My mom just gave it to me, so it's in my garage. But because I don't want to part from it because it was such like a cool moment.
Yes.
Like I won this big teddy bear all by myself. And so now, like, it's just, you know, nostalgic to go back to the fair. And I do the slide every year because my dad and I did the slide. So it's just a thing, like, you know, to remember
Brings up
him.
memories. Yeah.
Yeah. And just, it's fun.
I love that. Do you go a few times in the season or just one?
I usually go twice. Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah.
Okay. Flagstaff snow or the Tucson desert?
So, mind you, I love 110 degrees. But I will break it up. I would go in the snow to Flagstaff. Yeah, just for a day.
It doesn't even feel like Arizona. I love it. Again, I don't know. I probably love Twilight way too much, but anytime I go, I'm like, cue that piano music, you know, from Twilight. Because it's just like, I don't know, it doesn't even feel like it's Arizona. And especially when it's snowing, oh gosh, it's so beautiful. I'm like, can I live here? Can I just like live here for a year?
It is nice. And for a break, you know, it's for me, it's like, okay, it's a nice little break to go to Flagstaff.
Yes, for sure. Okay, one last one. So morning show glam or ballpark casual?
Ooh. That's a hard one because I love them both.
You do?
Yeah, I do love getting ready and being on TV and all cute in our dresses, right? And then transitioning to jeans and some nice shoes, tennis shoes, and a jersey. So I can't pick between those ones. I love them both the same.
Both equally.
Yeah.
Do you do your own hair and makeup? Mm-hmm. Oh, how nice. Yeah. Okay, I love it. All right, so after 11 years at 12 News, you decided to part ways, right? What led to that decision?
So I think there comes a time where you just know your worth and you know your value, and you have to take that big step and pushing for yourself and advocating for yourself. And so I think that time happened. And I was shocked because I had only been doing the midday show or the lifestyle show for 3 years. But I took that thing over, rebranded it.
You really
new
did.
Music, new graphics. My whole team, we worked on it together.
You did a whole 180.
A whole thing with this show. And I wanted it to be different than any of the other lifestyle shows. And we accomplished that goal. And we want an Emmy. Like, we got nominated for 2 Emmys. We won an Emmy. It has never been nominated for an Emmy ever. And so I was like, yeah, we're making moves. This is great. But in my mind, which is crazy, I think I thought this was it. Like, when I got that job, I was like, this is it. This is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. I'm going to settle down. I'm going to get married. I'm going to have kids. And this is what I'm going to do. But God said, nope, this is not it. Like, there is still more for you to do out there. And so I think that's why it was time to transition. You know, we were going through the renewal process. Some things were going down that I didn't like. And we just couldn't come to an agreement.
The visions didn't align.
No, things were no longer aligning. And there was a lack of trust. There was a lack of transparency. And I was just like, you know what? Fine. And I stuck to my guns. And
I mean, I commend you because that's hard, especially, you know, leaving a place that kind of saw you grow, and how, like, at one point this was like your dream job, you know, like that's hard. What was the hardest decision about leaving the station?
Well, the hardest decision was because it wasn't really like my first choice, right? It was just that knowing that I wasn't valued there anymore. I felt like it was to an extent, but there were some other things going down, and so I was just like, nah, this isn't a good fit. So to know that if I put my foot down, that was going to be it. So that was the decision. So do I go and just continue on, sign the contract, do what I need to do, and move forward and keep doing it like everything's fine, right? Or do I stick up for myself and put my foot down knowing that it's not going to go in my favor?
Yeah.
That was the hardest decision.
Have you had to do this before of like choosing a difficult option, but one that you knew was going to like keep you at your core of what you wanted and what you didn't want?
I think this is the first time it was something like a major decision like this. I mean, I've been in radio, I've been in, TV. I've done everything you can do, and radio is a hard job too, a hard career, because that's so cutthroat. You're in, you're out. They switch people. You're not doing good. They get rid of you.
Big on ratings.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and news is kind of like that too. Thankfully, I mean, there's a whole bunch of story with my news journey. One day I'll write a book and I'll share it, and because it's not been all peaches and cream. There's been ups and downs. It's a roller coaster. There's been things that there are some other moments that I should have like probably put my foot down and be like, nah, this isn't good for me.
Yeah.
But I stayed. And so I think there comes this time where it's like, okay, Vanessa, do you want to like do you know who you are? Do you know what you bring to the table? Like, do you value yourself? And so this is where it came. It's a growing moment. This was definitely a growing moment for myself because, yeah, it was my local dream job. And I know that with this moment, it could just be gone. And that's exactly what happened. And so it was hard. But I know that when I was done, I felt like good.
A relief a little bit?
I was relieved. Yeah. And now that I'm out and I look in and I'm like
the pressure kind of like fell off your shoulders a little bit. And I think choosing you is never going to be the best. Like, choosing yourself is always going to be the best decision to make. Were you scared though? Like, I'm just like trying to picture myself in your shoes. And I'm very much a person like, I overthink things, me personally, of like, oh my gosh, like bills have to get paid and this and that. And what if like I knock doors, but none of them open, like I'm just like such a big overthinker. But like I said, I commend you for like sticking to knowing what you're worth, and not taking anything less. Were you scared at that moment?
I was. And the way it went down too, it was kind of like a negative transition. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like, so it hit me for a moment. But then I was like, no, I'm good. Well, first of all, social media. Right. Okay, social media is around. I already have clients that I work with.
And people love you. Like, love you.
So I had that. I knew that was still there. I have that backup, right? I'm still working for the Diamondbacks. Like, I'm not going anywhere with them. So I knew I had other things still going on. Yeah, it was just knowing that this main job, right? Different income, and it's changing, and like I'm losing that income. It's just wild. It was just, I did think about it, and I was just like, okay, like you're gonna be fine though. Like I felt that God was directing me at this moment because of the way that it went down, right?
Yeah.
And he was like directing me. He was like, okay, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna let go, let God. You are going to continue doing what you're doing. You still have stuff going on. You're gonna be okay. You know, I had to convince more? My mom.
Really?
She was very sad, very upset. She was like, oh my gosh, like, all kinds of the emotions. And she's mama bear, so she's got my back. But I had to tell her, I'm like, Mom, we're going to be good. I'm going to be good. Like, I know this brand that I've built. I know, and I've heard it from so many people. Like when I finally shared it, I received so many phone calls, so many people messaging me. So many people are like, Vanessa, like, I can't believe, like, this went down. Like, you are in your prime.
I couldn't believe it. When you posted it, I was like, what? That was, like, the last thing I would have expected to see, honestly. I was, like, flabbergasted, honestly. I was so shocked. But I think you also bring up a great point that it should be talked about more, I will say, especially of women in media, of not putting all your eggs in one basket. And I think you've always like had all these numerous jobs, which is great because now you have options.
Right.
Whereas like how many of us sometimes don't have options and that's your only job. And like, unfortunately, you do have to like stay there because you have bills to pay and kids or whatever, who knows. But you've left your options open. And I think that is very admirable. And I think it's something that I'm learning from you of like keeping options open as well, because you never know when that person, this was thankfully your decision, but it's also like, what if it was the other way around? What if they would have let you go, then, You know, I think just like something that we can learn is like to not put all your eggs in one basket, honestly.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, ultimately, it was a mutual decision if you
Yeah.
think about it. So it
Yeah.
was kind of scary because I knew once it was an email I sent. Once I knew I sent this email, it was a wrap, you know? So I was just like, it was a mutual decision, pretty much. And so what was more that what I heard from everybody else was like, I can't believe they didn't do whatever it took to keep you.
I was going to say, I'm surprised about that. Like,
Yeah.
did they negotiate and push back and be like, no, okay, let's rework the contract? Like, interesting.
They worked with me a little bit, but it just wasn't, ultimately we couldn't come to an agreement. And so it just was like, okay, cool. Then this is the right decision. We'll do our own thing. They're doing their own thing. I mean, it was, I don't think it was easy for them either, to be honest. There was a lot going on over there behind the scenes.
Yeah. I think outgrowing a time in your life is something that so many women and men can relate to, you know, whether that's outgrowing a career or a relationship or a home or whatever. For someone who's like tuning in and is in that place of like they're debating, like, oh, can I do more? It's not giving me what I want. It's not fulfilling me. But there's that but of whatever their factors are of that's keeping them there.
Right.
What would you like tell those people, those women who are in that like battling stage? Because I think that's the first stage of like really realizing that you've outgrown something, you know, realizing that it's not fulfilling you. But then there's the other side that's like, but what about this, you know?
Right. And it's hard because like I said, I thought that was the job I was going to do for the rest of my career. Like that's it. Right.
Yeah.
And then it hit me that it's not. Like I outgrew the show, basically. I did what I came to do. I revamped it, won an Emmy. And then what else could I do?
Yeah.
Right? Like I would be pitching the same things. The highlight of that, though, which I do appreciate, is that they gave me the freedom to bring in diversity and culture and small businesses and highlight them. So that was the hardest part. I think we'll go back to that real quick. The hardest part was knowing that I can't help my community in that same way anymore, at least on that outlet, right?
On that platform.
Right. So I can do it in other ways, but that was a huge platform that people would be excited about to go on a news station and talk about their business and talk about their event or talk about what was important to them. And so that was the hardest part that I had. I remember telling my mom and friends, and I was like, it just really bothers me that I can't do that for those people anymore on this platform.
But you can. And whatever's next for you, I believe you can.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
I'm not done.
We're going to get into it. Yeah.
I'm not done yet. And so for the person that is debating or juggling or unsure or uncertain, like really dig down deep and figure out what it is you truly want to do and what makes you happy, right? What makes you happy? What makes you feel fulfilled? What dreams and goals do you want to accomplish? And if this, at that moment when I had that job, I thought that was it. But when now that I'm out, I'm like, no, there's so much more I want to do. So much more. But you have to take that leap in order to see what else is out there.
True.
So if you want to, this is for me. For me, it's settling, right? I didn't want to settle. I didn't want to just stay there. I don't want to get complacent. I don't want to do the same thing over and over, day after day. And there were times that I remember looking in the mirror and being like, Vanessa, you're thankful for this job. You're thankful for this job. Remember that you're thankful. You worked hard to get here. But why am I convincing myself? Like, you know, and then I think that's when I was like, okay, cool. Like, it's just time, right?
Yeah.
They thought it was time. I thought it was time. We thought it was time.
Right.
And it just, you have to move forward. And if you don't, like I said earlier, if you don't do this, you'll never know, right? So if I just stay here, this is all that I'm going to do. But since this decision has been made, now I get to see what else is out there and what else is going to come my way.
You don't grow when you're comfortable.
Right.
That's for sure. That's for sure. How do you know when you've outgrown something versus when you're burnt out? Because I think that's where people stay in the same place because they don't know how to differentiate the two.
Right. Well, I will say if you are going to work miserable every day, you're over it.
True.
And that was part of my thing.
Yeah.
Sharing.
You weren't enjoying it as much
I was
anymore.
like, look, I'm not going to come into work miserable every day.
Yeah.
So this, and this needs to happen. And I truly felt that because life's too short. I lost my dad. He was 55 years old, you know, still young. And so I was like, no, if I'm waking up every day, like dreading going to work, even though it's an amazing job, right? Because of certain situations, it was dreadful. Then I'm like, I'm not going to do that. So that's how you know when you are going every day, convincing yourself or being walk into those doors and you're like, okay, we got this, we can do it, right?
Yeah.
But if you are just having a moment and it's like, oh, this is stressful, but this too shall pass, and so you'll be fine next week, right? Then you know it's good. But I feel like if it was going to be like that for a long period of time, like, why are you there?
True.
Stop. Whatever it is that you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Even relationships, right? Even relationships, jobs, like, if it's not working and it's more chaos than it is pleasure or more happiness, then it's time to make a change.
I am like, let me write these down because I'm going to replay this and be like, I love that. Like, I think it just needed to be said. Some of us just stay complacent, you know, and it's like you said, life is way too short to be doing something that doesn't fulfill you and doesn't make you
Right.
happy. Like, we don't know when our last day is going to be, unfortunately. It's like, do you want to live it to the fullest and be happy? Or do you want to stay at a place just for money, which money you can find anywhere else?
Yeah.
That's always what I think. You know what I mean? Like, money comes and goes. And yes, it does give you comfort, but it
Yes.
doesn't mean that it's everything, you know?
Right.
But,
I lost a big chunk of money. So
Yeah.
it was even that. I was like, man, and I lost health insurance.
Oh my gosh, girl, let me tell you, health insurance is expensive.
I was like, oh my gosh, you don't think about all these things, right?
Yes.
When I put the foot down and
You're like my 401?
So that was a lot. But you know what? You'll figure everything out. I figured it out. And the most amazing part is the support that I've had from the community.
Yeah.
When I shared it, so many posts, so many comments, so many people sharing my post.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. And everybody was just so supportive and so loving. And I'm just so thankful that I have that support here where I grew up. And it made me feel like, okay,
Everything's
this was
gonna
the
be okay.
right decision. This was the right move. It is time to go to the next
Like
level.
I said, girl, people love you. Anytime I put on the podcast, like, oh, who do you guys want to have next? The amount of people that are like, Vanessa Ramirez, like, people honestly love you. And I think that speaks volume to your work ethic, to your character, to the heart that you've given to everything that you put yourself in, you know, and just how you are a representation to all of us in the Valley. So I think it's beautiful.
you.
I think I have no doubt that whatever's next for you, like, you're gonna excel and you're gonna do amazing. And yeah, but I want to say, so after 11 years, you left the job. What was that first week like, girl? Were you taking it easy? Did you get a little vacation time, a little R&R, or were you working?
I think the first week was stressful. I'm not gonna lie. I was
Really?
like, oh, it was weird not to get up and go to work.
Yeah.
That was like, okay, like I don't have to go to work the next day.
I have extra time?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was a Sunday, and normally I'm stressing out trying to get ready for the work week, right? And I was like, wait, I don't have anything to do. And so this season of my life it's been nice, a nice change, because I definitely don't slow down because I don't know how to slow down, right? It's in my DNA to keep moving and hustling and doing what I need to do. However, I'm doing it on my time and my pace. So I wake up, I go to the gym, I like do stuff around the house, I do computer work, meetings, schedule, all these things, right? But it's on my time.
Yeah.
So that's the nice change. So the first week was a little rough because I was so used to going to work. But after that, I was like, okay, I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying slowing down just a little bit.
Yeah.
And doing what Vanessa wants to do.
I love that. On your terms.
Yeah.
What fulfills your cup? What fills your cup?
Oh my gosh.
Are you someone who likes staying home and just, you know, lounging around in your sweats on a Sunday night? Or are you like, where are we going? Let's make plans.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
you.
on the go, girl. I'm on the go. Everybody knows that. Like, whoever knows me, they're like, girl, you were never home. My mom's like, enjoy your beautiful home. I'm like, I know, Mom, but like, I'm busy. I got things to do.
I enjoy when I'm sleeping.
Yeah. And I'm like, and then I have my little puppy, which she's my little best
Yeah.
friend, my teacup Yorkie. And I love her and she's there. But no, I'm definitely on the go.
Yeah.
I love to travel. I love to try out new restaurants. I love to just hang out with my friends, with my family, you know, when I can. I have such a huge family on my dad's side, and then my mom's side's somewhere else, but we just visited them in Washington, D.C. And so, no, I'm always on the go. I want to do something fun. I want to experience something new. If I could travel every weekend, I would.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's tiring.
Yeah, but I love it.
You
it's
love
just
it.
so much fun. And even when my friends are like, you're wild, you're going to Vegas, you go for 24 hours, and I fit
I've
five
seen your
things
stories.
in 24
Yes,
hours. Yeah.
yes. I'm living through your stories. I'm like, dang, she just left here. Now she's going here.
Yes.
I think you went to Vegas to California like a few weekends ago. And I was
Yes.
like, oh my gosh, girl, where do you get your batteries? Because I need the same kind.
I don't know. I just tell people it's in my DNA. I
Yeah.
think I literally am made this way. My mom's a little firecracker. She's
Yeah.
always on the go too. She's spicy. My dad was such a hard worker and was, worked a regular job, then worked side jobs. Like I just grew up seeing them
The
always
hustle.
moving
Yeah.
and, like doing what we needed to do, and then they still made time to do fun things with me. So that's just what I'm used to.
Yeah.
You know?
Can we talk really quick about kind of the pressures of being in media? So I know I kind of deal with it. Like I've done acting a little bit, and it's a lot of like people putting stuff in your ears of like, oh, you have to look a certain way. You have to do your hair a certain way and blah, blah, blah. Especially I think when you're going for casting calls, it's like they want a specific look or whatever. And I think anything in the TV field is always going to be particular about how you look, right? Your presence. How have you navigated that part of just like having to be perceived a certain way online, on TV, all that? Because you've done this for years, but does it get draining? Like, how did you navigate that? Like, were you ever told like you had to be a certain way?
Oh yeah, in the news world, yes. Any news job, they tell you how you should dress, what your hair should look
What
like,
to post,
you
what
should
not
do.
to post.
Yeah, you're owned in that news business, right?
Yeah.
So when I switched over to lifestyle, it was nice because I didn't have
It was different?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Yeah, so you don't have as much pressure,
Yeah.
right? You have more freedom, and so that was another plus switching over to that. But I will say, it's taken some time, right, over the years to feel comfortable with who I am and own it. So back in my earlier career, yes, they would tell us what to wear. They made me cut my hair. And I had to listen because that was part of the job, right? They would have a stylist come in and put me in some clothes. And I was like, this does not look good.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're looking at, but what I'm looking at, I'm not going to buy this outfit, And I know I'm a curvy girl. Yeah. It didn't start off that way when I was younger. I was skinny, but as time goes on, right, you grow into your body and this is it. And so we all know that I'm curvy, but I'm like, I'm not going to hide it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to embrace it. So yeah, my dresses were always a little tighter, but I was in front of a green screen. And for me, I was like, I'd rather look my size than wear a big frumpy dress and look huge, right? Because TV is just different. So it took some time, but I was like, look, this is who I am and this is who I'm going to be. I still wear my big hoops. Right? I wear big hoops every day.
Yes.
I've been on the news station wearing that forever and everybody knows it. I've got, the nails done all the time. And I'm just like, this is who I am.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you don't like it, then don't watch or don't like my page, right? There's been people that have called the news station. So one time, I remember some man, and we had text messages at the time in the morning show. And so this guy texts in, he's like, tell Vanessa that it looks like she just rolled out of bed because her hair is messed up.
My gosh.
So in the back, it's kind of hard sometimes, to like fix it in the back because we do our own hair and makeup. And so I wrote back the guy, and I didn't know it was a guy at first. And so I wrote back the person, and I said, do me a favor. Why don't you send me your hairstylist's number and send me a picture of yourself so that way I can go ahead and use your person so they could fix my hair for me. And the person wrote back, and he's like, I'm sorry, I'm a bald guy, and I don't have any hair. I just made a comment that I shouldn't have made.
I mean, proves to show people are writing things, but it stems from an insecurity within, you know? Yeah.
And so now I know that. It took some time before everything would bother me and people's comments, and I'd be like, oh, but now I'm like, if you don't like it, don't follow me, don't watch me, why be negative? Like,
and sometimes your haters are the ones who are most on your things, honestly, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But how did you get thicker skin? Because not gonna lie, sometimes that gets to me.
Yeah.
The comments or like whatever. And now we're big on like, how many views did you get? How many likes? How many this? Like, how do you build thicker skin? Is that just like with time?
Yeah.
We just like,
it
I
just
don't
happens
care.
over time. I've been in this business 20 plus years, right? Like I said, radio is hardcore too. That's a whole nother thing too. It's not just TV, like radio is hard too. And so I just think over the years, I've learned to accept who I am and just be authentic with it. And nowadays I feel like people appreciate the authenticity and just being genuine and just being real, right? Instead of trying to be somebody you're not. Because if you're trying to be somebody you're not, it's going to come out eventually. You can't fake the funk too long, right? You just got to be you. So I feel like over the years, I was just like, fine, this is who I am, right? This is who I am. My weight's fluctuated, my hair's changed a little, but for the most part, I've tried to just stay true and just love myself. It is harder, right? And I'd say this is the season that I've truly shown that I love myself and that I got to have my own back. You know what I mean? So I'm just going to do what is best for Vanessa Ramirez, and I'm going to run with it. So the way I look, the way I dress, what I do, who I hang out with, the things I do on the weekends, like this is my life.
Yes.
So I'm going to live my life.
I love that. Can we cut that into? We're going to cut that. Oh my gosh. I love, love, love everything that you're saying and like the season of your life. Like I said, I can't express it more. Like I know you're on to like bigger and better things, and I'm just like so excited. I do want to touch about your foundation, so Breathe to Believe. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so I like mentioned earlier, I lost my dad to non-smokers lung cancer in 2011. Changed my world, rocked my world. I'm never going to be the same person ever again, right?
How old were you?
I was in my younger years.
Okay, sorry.
We'll just leave it to that one. I was still, younger, and still, it was in a time where it's like I'm an adult, but I'm also still need my dad, right? And we were just so close, and it really changed my life. And I think about him every day. I talk about him every day. He's just, I miss him so much. And so what I wanted to do was turn that grief into something positive. So I didn't want to get depressed. And I was like, if I don't do something, I'm going to get depressed and I'm going to sit in bed and I'm not going to move forward. So I decided to create, it's called the Frank Ramirez Breathe to Believe fundraiser. Originally, it was just a family event, and we did it around his birthday. And so it's like a birthday celebration, and all the money raised, 100% of the proceeds goes back here to the cancer community. And so as time went on, I had a bigger platform. So I was like, perfect, I'm gonna use my platform to promote this, help other people. And it's just a fun day. People come together, we have food trucks, we have live entertainment, we have stuff for the kids. We have, my sponsorships, they come out and share what they do here in the community. And it's really just like a great time for people to come together. I don't want it to get too big. Usually I have 150, 200 people. But it's just right, where people can come together, interact with each other. And thankfully, I have been blessed to have like Tom Chambers and Young MC and Luis Gonzalez come out and support, and they help out with trying to help raise money. And I've had amazing sponsors throughout the years, and it's just really grown, and I'm happy, and I'm going to continue it because I have to continue my dad's fight. And I have to help other people, right? Because I don't want other people to go through what we went through. Like I said, it was the worst thing ever, right? And I've been through a lot of stuff in my life, but losing your parent at such a young age, and he's never gonna walk me down the aisle. He's never gonna meet his grandkids. He didn't know I worked at the news station, you know what I mean? It's just awful, and I don't want another family to go through that.
When's the next event?
The next one is January 25th. And I'm working on the location. You can follow me on Instagram to get more details. But I'm trying to bring a bigger artist out.
Ooh,
yes, to perform.
How exciting.
And he is currently battling cancer right now too, so I want him to share his story. But I'm trying to lock that in, and we're gonna have some food trucks. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna raise lots of money. Over the years, let's see, I've raised, I believe, over 200,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
wow,
and it's all just a memory of my dad and just bringing community together. And we share, I'll have cancer survivors come out and share their story. Yeah. So people know, and like.
What a beautiful way to bring awareness, especially to our community, because how many times like people don't get checked, and they don't know that they have something until unfortunately it's too late. But I think it's bringing awareness, and it's also celebrating your dad's legacy, of everything that he taught you and all that you're doing. So I think it's beautiful, honestly.
Thank you.
And now you're a board member, right, at American Cancer Society?
Yeah. So I decided to join the national board with the American Cancer Society. It's a new thing. They tried to get me to do it for a few years, but I'm so busy that I'm like, I don't know if I can add this to my plate. And so the timing worked out because I was actually on the board for the Coyotes, but the Coyotes left. Yeah. So then that job was done. Yeah. And so they were like, okay, can you try it? And I was like, ooh, like how much time do I have to commit to this? Because I'm such a busy girl. But they were like, we're going to work with you. It's going to be great. So I got nominated. I went through the interview process. They accepted me. And I just went to Washington, D.C. And I still pinch myself at times because it's a huge role, right? Yeah. And I'm in the room with all the other board members, and they're doctors and business owners and attorneys and all these high-end people. And they're coming up to me and they're like, we're so excited to have you on the board. You're going to bring so much to the board. You're going to help out, and your flavor and your background and who you are, and you're Latina and you're young. Like, you're going to help us even work social media, And I was like, wow, they believe that I'm going to have such a big impact in this role. So I'm still getting my feet wet in it because it's a big deal. But I can't wait to see what kind of impact I can make on a national level.
Yeah, for sure. I can't wait to see, girl. Yeah. What's next in store for you, though?
So I'm still working on the things. Everybody thinks that's the job. So that is not my new job with the American Cancer Society. It's just something that I do on the side, right? I'm volunteering. But I am just working on bigger and better things. So I'm still doing my social media influencing here. You know, I have multiple clients that I promote and I work with, and I'm trying to put a few more on the roster. But I am just working for bigger and better. It's time for the next level.
Yeah.
It is time for the next level. I think this situation happened for a reason, and so I gotta run with it, right? And while I can. So I don't have any children. I'm not married. I told my mom, if I have to move temporarily,
You will.
I'm gonna move.
Oh.
It's just time. Whatever it is, whatever God takes me to next, right? I'm working on some things. When it comes out, everybody will know.
Yeah.
I know it'll be exciting, but it's just time to take it to the next level.
I love that. We love to manifest on the podcast. So let's manifest something. What are you manifesting in the next year?
Ooh, the next year.
Yes.
Obviously, to take my career to the next level. I'm definitely manifesting that. This is a longer thing, but I am manifesting love, right? I have been single for basically married, never been married. And so I've been in relationships up and down throughout the years, all the good stuff. But like, I truly want my best friend. I truly want my best friend.
Yeah.
I want the love of my life. I want to have a teammate,
Partner
someone
in
that I
life.
can share
Yeah.
all this excitement with, right?
Yeah.
And so I also think this is part of the reason for this season, because I've been praying on that and I've been wanting it. And God's probably like, Vanessa, girl, how can you do any of this when you were on the go doing this, and this job, and you're here and you're there? Like, how are we going to find you a man? Like, it's not going to happen. So I think that this is part of that season, and that I'm going to slow down just a tad bit, and something's going to come my way.
I love that. Has it been hard to like find a partner who fully accepts everything that you come with?
Girl, this is going to be like 5 hours if we wanted to talk about this. It is challenging. It is challenging because I am in the limelight, right? Here locally, people feel that I'm a local celebrity. So when we go out to eat, right? When I've been in relationships, people stop me and they're like, oh, can we take a picture? And we can do this. And then they get excited and they want to talk to you. And I want to talk to everybody because I love interacting with everyone. But for them, it gets irritating at times, or they're like, okay, can we just
dinner.
go out and enjoy each other and not have to deal with this? But I'm like, this is what comes with me, you know what I mean? So you have to understand that. But I guess I could also work on putting some different boundaries too, right? When it comes to relationship, because truly, I've focused on my career for so many years. Now it's time to focus on my personal love life. So it's going to be a time where I do have to make some changes and maybe, not put it on the back burner, but my relationship has to come as a priority. Yeah.
I love that. It's your you time. It's your me time. I love that.
It's such an amazing season, and I would have never guessed that I would be in this moment right now. Never.
Enjoy it. Soak it in, girl.
Yeah.
You worked so hard for this moment. Now it's about you. What do you want?
Yeah.
On your time, on your terms. Where can people find you?
Oh my gosh, you can find me on Instagram at Vanessa_host. You can find me on Facebook, Vanessa Host. I'm trying to post all the time. I have fun content.
Your new
all
TikTok?
The time.
Yeah.
Yes, my new TikTok. It's under Vanessa Host as well. But I'm trying to just do it. So if you want me to help you promote your business, reach out to me. We can work together. But yeah, just all the social media sites. And like I said, I'm still with the D-backs. I'm not going anywhere. Even whatever new transition happens, I'm still going to make it back for my 20th season.
I love that. I love that. We're going to see more of Vanessa here. This is not the end of it. This is only the start. Ain't that right, girl?
Yes.
Thank you so much for your time. Like I said, for being a voice to all of us Latinas. Like I said, when I was at Cronkite and I was a student, I was like, if she could do it, I could do it. So thank you for being that, honestly.
I love that.
And thank you for being on the podcast. See you guys next week on Wednesday.
Bye.